Hi everyone, my name's MsJoro. Today I'll be talking about the energy tune-up for May 2022. Now it's been a while since I've actually done a video. It's been Easter, school holidays, etc. So I got a bit sidetracked. But anyway, I'm back. Now this might be on the tail end of April 30, which is new moon down here in Melbourne. It would be the new moon in Taurus. Now, yes, well, hopefully for this month, us Capricornians might find it easier, but at the same time, energies are still rife. Now, did you guys feel that full moon mid-April? That was nuts. I was buzzing like you wouldn't believe. Talk about a supercharged moon. And yeah, it was quite crazy actually. And I could just feel the energies coming right through over Melbourne. It was bright as anything. So we're starting to notice shifts in the energy field as well. It hasn't been too crazy. Either that or we're probably getting used to all this craziness. It'll be really interesting. We have certain things happening towards the end of this month, like the elections. There's a lot of debate going on, let's say. So let's see what's going to happen in the following month. But this month, I think down in Australia, it's going to be a bit edgy for a lot of people. It'll probably highlight which tribe you belong to, eh? And it's quite interesting. There are a blend of tribes. There's a separation of tribes. There's no tribe or there's a lot of tribes to be involved with. It all depends on where you resonate with, right? So I suppose also in the global sense, there are things going on as well which people are shocked for the results either way, or they're shocked that they're still in it. They're still going through the same old like they did in the last 2 years. And there's also a bit of shock that, wow, they've got, freedom all of a sudden. Some people have Stockholm syndrome or whatever. People saying that they're lucky, but in fact it's a right. So with this month, things might change a bit. People are now going back into the office. Some people don't want to go back to the office. Actually, a lot of people don't want to go back to the office. They're quite happy to work from home. There's also a lot of issues with employment. It's supposed to be a candidate's market. There's been shifts in industry as well. It doesn't help the fact that global transport has reached to a halt. And now we're seeing shelves in supermarkets being empty. First of all, according to Monkeyworks, I love that guy. Such a logistics person he is. There's a lot of ships, and it's been happening for a while. A lot of ships are around Shanghai. A lot of ships are around Hong Kong port. A lot of ships that are supposed to be unloading aren't unloading. They're just parked. And a lot of ships that need to load and move to the next country is also stuck. So things like cat food, tissues, again, the toilet rolls, it's not getting down to the south or vice versa. A lot of frozen veg is also missing from the supermarkets. Okay, but there's heaps of fresh vegetables. There's fresh produce in local level. So again, we're going to have to think. We've got to think locally. So I strongly suggest to you look at stuff locally as much as you can afford. Start thinking outside the box. There is still a shitload of food wastage and wastage in general, and that could be clothing. Now, why are we always consuming brand new stuff when there's massive landfill that gets dumped? What's wrong with repairing product? What's wrong with reusing product? What happened to the R's? So we've got to have to get back to that point. Start learning how to sew, guys. Seriously. Start learning how to repair stuff. Look up YouTube how to fix a washing machine for a change. Don't have to buy a new one. Try to work out ways around fixing your car. Things like that. It's not hard. We were going through this the last, 10 years ago? And also, yes, again, planting your own vegetables. Yes, okay, coming from a permy person. Never underestimate growing a garden, whether it's a pot plant or what. Grow your own food. Build a co-op, stop wasting food. If you have to dumpster dive. So now we can see it's going to be happening around the world. So what's more important with you? Spending on luxury or spending on food on the table? So again, it goes back to the working class suffering the most. And I reckon there's going to be a lot of strikes moving forward. There's going to be clashes between employees and employers, mainly with the teachers' union, the nurses' union, and also the food distribution and transport unions. It's coming to a head, guys, because there's been a lot of restrictions going on that have not been lifted. Food is no longer being put on the table. So when you have that combination, especially if results of an election doesn't work in their favour, things are going to go crazy. When interest rates go up exponentially, there's going to be a lot more people out on the street. And this is going to be a social problem for everybody. The rhetoric that's coming out at the moment is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, to a point like it just doesn't make sense anymore, guys. Let's see how compliant people are going to be moving forward. People have been compliant for the last 2 years, but now when they cannot get their basic needs met, it's going to be a completely different story. So what do we do as folk? Especially those who are listening, right? You're a bunch of enlightened folk. You're fully aware. Do we still try to influence others what we think? Or do we start working on ourselves? I think it's come to a point now that there's no point preaching. I think it's time for us to look within ourselves and do what we can within ourselves and what we can control. And that would be a lot of inner work, a lot of healing, a lot of getting your house in order, and then just being able to be an example to your community. No preaching, just be an example, and you will influence others around you, whether it's your high energy, high frequency, or just that they are able to witness you working and that they think, oh, wow, I could do that too. That makes sense. That resonates with me. Those who don't resonate with you, who cares at this point? They will come around. If it's not you who resonates with them, someone else that you've influenced, well, then they might be the ones that resonate with them and might get them through the threshold. So let's talk about the twins. Now, the divine feminines, a lot of you out there have not had signal, especially those who are not in communication with their counterpart. There hasn't been any signal. They're not even on the radar. You've just got zero, nada. And you're thinking, why all of a sudden I feel free and don't have this heaviness or yearning or whatever. Now, there's probably a few of you have reached that frequency, which is great. But there's others thinking, hang on a sec. Well, it's like all of a sudden something's been removed and you're just like, okay, now what do I do? And then you're sort of like twiddling your thumbs and go, oh, okay, shit, I've got to focus on my mission. I think pretty much that's what the divine feminines have been doing now, that they don't have that weight or that feeling of the divine masculines. They're kind of free to move. And it has accelerated a lot of divine feminines to increase their frequency quite a lot in the last few months, to a point that because you are glowing and because you are a beacon of light or becoming a beacon of light, there's a whole lot of other divine masculines or other soulmates that have been drawn to you like a moth to a flame. And you're thinking, what the hell? You know, it's like some sort of links ad, but in reverse. And all of a sudden, all these people start coming towards you and they want to be with you and they're showing their love and you're just being like, wow, this is great. Wow, I actually deserve this shit. And it's a great feeling. And then as you go along, all of a sudden, and I know it's just happened in the last week or so, bang, beep, beep, there's this radar, there's this signal, it's on the sonar. What the hell's going on? And you're starting to realise, oh, mate, what's going on? And you're starting to feel the divine masculine again, slowly. And you think, is it in the mind? Am I just thinking about it? And then you think, yeah, you brush it off, continue with your work. And then each day, and then all of a sudden, pow, synchronicities, you wouldn't believe, all these other things, music, you name it, everything reminds you of them. And you think, wow, what triggered it? What happened? Well, I think it's probably the planets. It's all aligned, whether you believe in the planets or not, but everything seems to shift in energy. And whether it's the Galactic Federation vacuuming the whole atmosphere, clearing up the webs, or if it's actually opening up because people are slowly waking up. So this goes towards now the divine masculines. So have you noticed, guys, and I've been watching too, I know it's an absolute train wreck, but the whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, right? It all started off with the whole alopecia stuff with Mr. Smith and his wifey, and now we're looking at another couple I just had a look at it and I said, why am I so freaking interested in this shit? But then I realised, oh my God, this is a divine, and I'm not saying that they are, okay? But I've heard other people talk about their current relationships. What's happening? Right. The divine masculine, not saying that those two are divine, whatever it is, probably to some people, but not to most, right? But I'm feeling that the divine masculines are going through a major whack by a karmic relationship. Divine masculines could be male or female, right? So the divine masculine energy is currently being whacked by their karmic relationship, by their toxic partner. And it's got to a point where, because they have been burying their heads in the sand, things are coming out into the open and they are now being publicly humiliated, whatever form it takes. Wow, actually, to be honest, I think it's around that time when Signal started happening. And it was starting to see people are breaking up. Divine masculines are breaking away from their karmic relationships. Those who are in toxic relationships have been splitting. And my cards are also showing that there's some major turmoil, which I've been saying for months. They're going through a court case. They're splitting up with their family or whatever. But there's also that public humiliation or reputation at stake. Now, I'm not saying it's all divine masculines, but it's particularly those who haven't quite got it. And they've been whacked. This has been in my readings. They've been whacked and whacked to the point of public humiliation if they didn't get it in the first place. And it's kind of sad. And I think that's why the divine feminines have not been getting Signal, because it's not their karmic duty or it's not part of their soul contract to be going through this shit, right? One word of warning, divine feminines, if you feel that your counterpart is going through this shit with their karmic partner, do not get involved. It's not your business. Stay out of it, or else you're going to get dragged into it, no doubt. Stay out of it. Let them sort out their own shit, and then you can see them on the other side. I'm telling you now, or else you're going to be in trouble for the next few months. So, and it may not be a karmic relationship or, their personal love interest or whatever at the time. It could actually be their work. And I mentioned this before as well. I think more of them are getting slammed with their jobs or what they're doing, whatever they're doing, wherever they spend most of their time with, that was toxic to them is finally spewing everything out, and it's finally come to a point where they're leaving. They're getting out of there. They are extricating themselves out of a really fucked up situation, and it's quite hard. They're going through major depression, dark shit, real dark night of the soul. I've touched on this already, but it's becoming more and more this scenario. So I know it's hard for not to feel for them, and you do, right? But there's a reason why you hadn't had Signal. And I wouldn't reach out. I would don't reach out if you can help it, unless they reach out to you. And even then, right, it is not your soul contract to heal them. Heal them through healing yourself first. So I think this month again I'll be doing 2 frequencies. The heart chakra, once again, to keep that frequency up in our community, to keep that love at 639 Hz. And also this time, the solar plexus at 528 Hz. It's time for us to take action, what's our gut telling us to do, to have that level of bravery and also healing our inner self and repairing for the transformation that we will be going through over the next few weeks. So sit back and relax and enjoy the music. Bye for now.